How to know a Judas. Yes, this topic is very important because, listen, as much as there are loyal people, there is something called false loyalty. So you need to be able to discern when loyalty is false. Judas was not an outsider. He was a disciple of Jesus, which makes it even more dicey. Jesus said in Matthew 26 verse 21, one of you will betray me. Did you get that? Amongst his disciples, not an enemy will attack me, but one of you. Your Judas are rarely far away. They are often within your circle. They are close enough to hear you, close enough to serve with you, yet their heart is far from you. I must tell you, just because someone is close to you doesn't mean their heart is close to you. Can't clock it there. Judas can be a wolf in friend's clothing. A Judas is uncomfortable with sacrifice, especially when it is not about them. Read it in Matthew 26 verse 6 to 9, John 12 verse 4 to 6. Look at the story. When Mary broke the alabaster box, Judas spoke up. Why was this perfume wasted? It could have been sold and the money given to the poor. He sounded responsible, didn't he? He sounded spiritual. He sounded compassionate. But scripture exposes his heart. In John 12 verse 6, it states, he said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. See, the person that sounded responsible, sounded compassionate. A Judas is irritated when your sacrifice is costly. They get uncomfortable when someone gives freely to you. Yes. They always label sacrifice like that. They call it a waste, especially because it does not benefit them. Once a Judas doesn't have benefits, when the ovation is not around a Judas, when the sacrifice doesn't go to them, they sound compassionate, yet they are criminals. Another characteristic of a Judas, how to know a Judas will use intimacy as a weapon. Let me just say this, let me talk it a bit. A Judas will use affection as a weapon. Matthew 26 verse 48 to 49. Judas did not point at Jesus. He kissed him. When he asked, show me who Jesus is, show us to Jesus, he didn't point at Jesus. He kissed him. Greetings, Rabbi. And kissed him. Jesus responded, friend, why have you come? Betrayal does not always come with hatred. Sometimes it comes with affection. A Judas can give you a gift, but yet he doesn't have his heart connected to you. A Judas knows how to appear loyal. They will give you gifts. They will look like they are there for your work, serving you, but they are not servants. A Judas knows how to appear loyal. They know how to say the right words. They know how to act close. The kiss was a sign. People around could have said, this kiss, wow, this guy loves Jesus. Be careful of people who are overly affectionate but inwardly disconnected. How can you really be careful? You cannot be too careful through observation. You cannot be too careful through just investigation. You can only be too careful through discernment. Another way to know your Judas. A Judas will always put a price. We always put a price on you. In Matthew 26 verse 14 to 15, Judas asked, what will you give me? When it was time for him to hand Jesus over to them, Jesus crucifiers. He said, what will you give me if I deliver him to you? They priced Jesus at 30 pieces of silver. Hey! A Judas reduces destiny to profits. They don't see calling, they always see their convenience. Have you seen people that they live for only their belly? They don't live for destiny. That's a Judas. They can trade you for their advantage. They don't care about the call. They only care about their comfort. That is foolish. That's a Judas. This is one way to note your Judas. I mean, you not even be the Judas. A Judas, another thing to say again about Judas. A Judas is present, but not loyal. That somebody marks regular church attendance doesn't make the person a loyal person. It doesn't make the person loyal. Psalm 41 verse 9. Even my close friend, whom I trusted, who shared my bread, has lifted up his heel against me. Judas ate with Jesus. He was always present. He served with him. He ministered with him. But you see, loyalty sometimes is not in regular attendance. Gang, 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 gang. Loyalty sometimes is not in regular attendance. Loyalty is more in alignment of hearts beyond attendance. Some people can be present for the access, but they are not present for the assignments. Oh my God, is somebody getting it now? Some people can be present just to have access to you. Have you seen people who say, oh, you know what? I am a mentor to this person. They love the fan, but they are not families. It can be tagged as F-A-N-I-L-Y. Doesn't mean you are F-A-M-I-L-Y. Check it. The difference is the N and the M. Some people are present for the access, but they are not for the assignments. Note, I didn't make this video to make you suspicious of everyone. It is to make you spiritually discerning. Look at the very interesting character of Jesus. Jesus knew Judas and still loved him, still called him friend, still washed his feet. Discerning your Judas does not mean bitterness. It means wisdom. So be wise. Don't be bitter when you spot one. God bless you. I love you.